came home at 1800 after an arduous day at work. I would usually retire straight to bed after dinner, but that night my work was a burden upon my mind. I felt it was my duty to check Dr. Jekyll's financial documents. This is where I discovered the most puzzling
Dr.
will.
Henry Jekyll, being in bodily health, of sound mind, and considering the perils and dangers of war, make, publish, and declare this my last will and testament. Concerning all my worldly estate, I bequeath all to Mr. Edward Hyde.
What I was reading was unbelievable. Not only was it irresponsible, but the nature of the relationship between these two men unsettled me, leading my investigation to a phone call with my trusted friend Lanyon. Royal Victoria Hospital. Dr. Lanyon's office, please.
Royal Victoria Hospital. Dr. Lanyon speaking.
Lanyon, my old boy, it's been far too long. How are you getting on?
Fantastic to hear from you. I am well, but these times are tough. The hospital is the busiest it's ever been.
You are a good man, Lanyon. You make such an unmeasurable difference to these wounded soldiers. I look forward to the end of the war and their suffering. Who'd have thought, back in college, this is where we would end up?
Oh, how times have changed.
Now, Lanyon, I have something on my chest that I need your opinion on.
Go on.
Well, I'm slightly concerned about our friend, Dr. Jekyll.
Our friend? I haven't spoken to him for months. He is far more concerned with his personal experiments than the good of his community. Now is the time for coming together and helping.
But Lanyon, I fear he has had the wool pulled over his eyes. Have you heard of a Mr. Edward Hyde?
Hyde? No. I know of no Hyde, but I am terribly sorry, my friend. I am required at the emergency room.
And with that, I went to bed, where I had the most terrible dream.
Traitor to the Alliance! Stop! Stop. No. Show your face. Who are you?
Is Hyde a traitor? A spy? If he is Mr. Hyde, then I shall be Mr. Seek. Walking into the town hall filled me with great comfort to be in a place of order and structure. I thought, if anywhere would offer credentials to this Hyde, it would be the National Register. I had found nothing. This could only mean one thing to me. Hyde could not be a true Englishman. I had to meet him, so I left the hall to confront Mr. Hyde. And so I decided to wait outside the back door to the by street, as it was the last place Hyde was seen. Over many chimes of the clock tower, I waited. Mr. Hyde?
That is my name. What do you want?
I'm an old friend of Dr. Jekyll's, Mr. Utterson of Christchurch Road. You must have heard my name.
I haven't heard of you.
Will you let me see your face? Now I shall know you again.
'Tis well we have met. You should have my address, 46 Borthwick Road. And now, how do you know me?
By description.
Whose description?
We have common friends. Dr. Jekyll, for instance.
He never told you. I think you are lying, Mr. Utterson.
He was as impolite as he was hideous. I thought he was genuinely awful. I didn't understand how Jekyll could be friends with such a man. I had made my way to the front of his house to ask.
Mr. Utterson.
Good evening. Is Dr. Jekyll in?
No, sir. He's not here at the moment. I think I last saw him when I lay his table for breakfast.
A Mr. Hyde entered through the dissecting room door. Is this common?
Yes, it is. He has his own key.
So I understand Jekyll puts a lot of trust in him.
Yes, sir. The staff and I have orders to obey his every command, but I rarely see him. He exclusively uses the laboratory door.
After talking to Miss Paul, I had a growing feeling of distaste and nausea. Something definitely did not feel right. The meeting with Hyde had made me feel very worried, and with the information I learned from the maid, I could not help but fear for my friend and wonder at what he had managed to get himself into.